What is the meaning of this term earth? In fact, the two terms earth, Arthashastra, Arthashastra, Arthashastra. The two terms, if you, yes, Arth means the wealth. It means wealth. And Shastra, which means a study in a way, you can say. So, if you try and combine these two terms, Arthashastra, primarily we can say Arthashastra is the study of science of wealth. है ना? It's what? It's the study of science of wealth. Study of science of wealth. This is what Arthashastra, the term Arthashastra means. But it does not mean that the very thesis Arthashastra which was written by Kautilya, the objective and the very goal of it was limited to only wealth and prosperity. No, it was a detailed, Arthashastra was a detailed observation of statecraft and administration. And when we try and understand, how Kautilya has looked at Arthashastra, he has conceived the meaning of money or the meaning of this in a very broad sense. In a very broad sense. So he has not just looked at it from a very parochial perspective. एक बहुत ही narrow perspective से उन्होंने इसे नहीं देखा है. He has looked at it from a very broad perspective. Even if he is talking about wealth, he has not looked at it from a very parochial or a narrow perspective. He has looked at it from a very broad perspective where he has considered each and every aspect of administration. है ना? He has considered each and every aspect of administration. Each and every aspect of administration has been considered. They have considered this. देखो, what is very interesting, what is very interesting is that if you look at ancient times, that is the time where Arthashastra was written by Kautilya, ये वो टाइम था इंडियन फिलॉसफी का जहां पर बहुत सारे ऐसे इंडियन स्कॉलर्स थे जिन्होंने एक फिलोसॉफिकल कमेंट्री जरूर दिया है. सो दैट वाज अ टाइम ऑफ इंडियन फिलॉसफी, एंड इन द टाइम ऑफ इंडियन फिलॉसफी देयर इज वन स्कॉलर which is Kautilya, and he gives a very pragmatic view. A pragmatic view of how the state is to function, है ना? A pragmatic view of how the state is to function. This is what is done by Kautilya. मैंने क्या कहा, मैं फिर से रिपीट कर रहा हूं, ध्यान से समझो. We are talking about an era जहां पर अगर हम और contributors, that is how they have contributed, in what field they have contributed, अगर हम वो देखें तो हम ये टाइम देखते हैं जब इंडिया में primarily this is the time of Indian philosophers. So there are so many scholars who at this particular time are contributing to Indian philosophy, है ना? So their view and the way they have looked at things वो बिल्कुल अलग है. लेकिन चाणक्य या कौटिल्य ने फिलॉसफी को बिल्कुल भी इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं दिया है. एंड ही हैज डन व्हाट? ही हैज रिटन अ कॉमेंट्री ऑन द pragmatic view of the state. The pragmatic view of the state. He has written a commentary on the pragmatic view of the state. उन्होंने ये काम किया है. Unlike other scholars of this particular time, he has nothing to do with philosophy. He is giving a pragmatic view of how the state is functioning and how the state should function. Now, the scholar like Kautilya is not just a pragmatic scholar. The Kautilian perspective also does not deal with ideological things. He is a realist. Kautilya क्या है? एक realist है. So Kautilya is not, as I've said, he's not a philosopher. So he does not talk about he does not talk about ideal things, idealism. No. He's a realist. Who is he? He's a realist. And how does Kautilya, now how is Kautilya looking at these aspects? Kautilya takes a realistic view and he is not afraid of suggesting any mechanism which could result into more efficiency for the state. क्या कहा मैंने? Why am I saying he's a realist and not an idealist? He's a realist, he's not an idealist. Why is he not an idealist? Why is he a realist, not an idealist? He is a realist, not an idealist, because Kautilya does not refrain from. Kautilya does not refrain from suggesting steps which can always be classified as what? It can always be classified as ideal. जैसे कौटिल्य टॉक्स अबाउट, कौटिल्य ने साम दाम दंड भेद, he has suggested that. साम दाम दंड भेद, he has suggested that he has suggested that any of this measure shall be adopted in order to achieve what he calls as prosperity. If the state needs to adopt any of such measures, Sam meaning diplomacy, है ना? Sam meaning diplomacy, Dam meaning use of money, Dand use of army, and Bhed use of secrets, state secrets. Using any such measures, Sam Dam Dand Bhed, to achieve efficiency in administration and prosperity for the state. He has not refrained from suggesting such measures. इसीलिए मैंने कहा, he is not an idealist, he is a realist. He is a very pragmatic thinker who is not very much, he is not concerning himself to philosophy or ethics. No, he is very much open to suggesting things which otherwise sometimes may not be considered truly to be ethical. That is the reason why Kautilya should never be misunderstood to be a philosopher. He is never a philosopher. He is a pragmatic thinker who has suggested measures in order to achieve prosperity for the state. That is what he has primarily done.